Okay, as people are coming on, let me bring a bunch of y'all to the stage so we can talk.
$50.
Yo, yo, I could hear you.
Hello?
Cal, what's up?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Excited to be back on.
Dude, I'm excited too, man. You don't understand. I feel like my life got so much better after knowing you guys.
Yeah,
Really, I
my
have
life
so
got
much
so
big
much
hopes.
better too.
Big hopes for the future. Really, I see you guys going to the moon, literally, and not just what people say in the comments.
Heck yeah, man. We
Yeah.
definitely are. There's a couple things that we're sorting out too, and we're gonna have an update on the website pretty soon. It's gonna be refreshed. We think the website looks okay so far, but we think it could be doing a lot better, and we think the functions could be a lot better too. So that's in the works. That's awesome. Simultaneously with the game.
Amazing. I just have a something that's been honestly bothering me for the past couple of days. For the past four
Of
days,
course.
I've been buying some from the floor, and of course I want to stake them, but
Yep.
I have not been able to stake for the past 4 days. Every time I
What?
click it, it gets low. It stays that loading sign as if after I
Mhm.
buy, click when I accept the price that they give me, and it's been transaction failed from past 4 days. And I've been checking with OpenSea. I've been checking with all things, and there's nothing wrong with my account. I even reset everything. I thought maybe people in the Guardian chat told me, I don't know, maybe is there something wrong with the staking website, or is it an issue coming from my side?
I mean, I staked a couple of samurais. They went through fine. I'm not sure what the problem is. Did you try closing everything and opening it again and trying to stake?
I've been doing all these procedures for the past 4 days. It's just been driving me
Oh
nuts,
man.
you know?
Um, yeah, shoot me a message, man. Shoot me a message with your ticket if you open a ticket with your ticket number. Let me send it over to the dev team,
Sure.
so they
Am
can
I
take a look
allowed
at
to
it
send
right
you a
away.
message?
You did? Okay, awesome. So I think if I have your wallet, we can just look into it and see what's up.
Amazing, amazing. Would be great, brother. Really.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, we got an update for you guys too. We're gonna need your help as a community. So our vanity URL for the Discord doesn't work because there's some clowns that basically don't like us. They mass reported us to Discord. You know, they called us spammers or whatnot, and Discord is looking into it. There's a ticket open. But I guess if more people contact Discord about the URL not working, they'll look at it faster. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure we'll come back, but it's just annoying that we have to deal with these stuff. Just in case, like for you guys to know and be aware too, like when you go on the URL, why it says invalid, and it's because of that reason. We're sorting it out with Discord. But if the community gets involved and contact them too, I'm sure they're gonna try to move a little quicker.
No, we'll be on top of this for sure. For sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah,
Anyway,
I definitely like forward your problem to the whole team today.
I'll shoot you a friend request and send you my tickets and everything,
Yeah,
and we'll go
awesome,
from
Yes, please put the
excellent.
tickets in
Thank
the
you, man.
general chat.
bless up, my brother.
All right. Cool, cool. Let's get that solved, right? We don't want any issues with staking. Let's go. Yo, Maudito, welcome back, dude.
Nice to meet you guys finally. I'm excited about
I can't
this.
hear you.
You can't hear me?
Try dropping off and coming back. It'll fix the problem. So let's
Check
go to
your
White
volume
Savage.
settings per person, and in the settings as well, you have to turn the volume all the way up.
White Savage not on. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm here.
Oh, cool. Yo, what up, man?
What's going on, man? How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. Yourself?
I'm all right. I have a few questions for you guys. I've been
Yeah.
making it as I can think of them. So regarding the weapons attached to the samurais, I see that you guys are releasing a weapon collection. So how will this weapon collection correspond with the weapons attached to the Sammys already?
They're actually they're like upgrades that you can get in game. So they're actually all in game assets that you can collect for the samurais. The samurais itself come with a standard one, but then there's additional ones that you can get. That's a little bit more. I would say it has different abilities and more powerful.
Okay,
Will will the
And
weapons
that's
be
where the Genki tokens come into play, because you're
gotcha.
gonna need those.
will the weapons be NFTs as well, and will we get airdropped the weapons that we have as well as
All
an
right,
NFT as it
that's
progresses?
the only question?
For me, yes.
Hello?
No,
Hello, can you hear me?
that's not the only question from me.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Also, I have another question regarding advertisements with the server. So I noticed a few days ago we were at 144,000 people. Now we're at 137. You guys continuing marketing campaigns to attract new Sammys, or like what are your guys' marketing strategies in regards to that?
Yeah, we're continuing to pump it. We have PR coming up. We have a lot of other guys we're working with. The issue right now is there's the server URL is actually invalid because a bunch of folks apparently you can mass report projects. So I guess there's some haters out there that mass reported us, and Discord took the URL down that says invalid, but we've contacted them to get it resolved. So that's what I mentioned earlier. If we can all work together to contact Discord, so we can get that URL back up, and then we can continue with the marketing. As far as the numbers going down, it's because we're constantly purging people that are inactive or slash bots, and we want to continue to just get rid of things and people that aren't interested in a project, and build more of the right type of audience that we need to keep up with the project and the growth.
Okay, I have one more if that's okay.
Of course.
So my last question is, so will the baddies have rarities, and will the weapons have rarities, just like the samurai did? And if so, since the majority of the stakers don't have 10, 20, 30 Sammys to have enough Genki tokens, so when these baddies do drop, we can buy them immediately. So my question is, will we be minting these baddies, or will we just be buying them off of a platform that will all have the same rarities associated with them?
There's going to be some baddies that are more than other baddies, sort of like the samurais, the same procedure. You're going to be minting them, but you're going to be minting them with Genki tokens.
Got you. Okay, so we still have, even if we're not one of the first ones to be able to mint, if we're staking 90 days or whatever, we still have a chance to get a rare or
Yeah,
legendary baddie.
yeah, exactly. Everyone is going to have a chance, so it's there's enough baddies for all the people staking, so we don't even like worry about it. Don't sweat it.
All right, tracking. Appreciate it, man.
Sounds good. Cool. Let's go to Steve Manley. You were on.
Thanks, guys. I just wanted to say, the project's amazing.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to thank you. The
Try
project's amazing.
disconnecting and coming back. I think it'll fix the problem. Yo, what's up,
We
Mark?
we can hear him. Like we could have, all of us heard him.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't hear him for some reason.
It
Damn.
might be. I would highly recommend maybe clearing your cache within inside of Discord, because it can get bogged down. And that, I hope that also answers the question for the other dude who was in here earlier about staking his samurai. A very quick and easy fix in staking, if you're having problems that it won't stake, sometimes you will have to clear your cache on your PC in order for it to properly cycle through, because sometimes people are utilizing a wiggle space on side of the Ethereum network, and their wiggle space is usually ballpark about 15%. If you can increase your wiggle up to 15, probably like 18 to 20%, most of it goes through. But you need to clear your cache when you are staking the samurai so that it will go through perfectly. It's almost kind of like clearing the metadata and refreshing it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I think people. No, that's a good suggestion. I think people don't know how to do that, so we're looking at making a video for that too.
yeah, it's just clearing your cache on your computer. That's it. Super simple. Hit the three dots, clear history, clear cache. You're done. But yeah, I mean, John, great to talk to you again, my boy. How you doing?
Yeah, likewise. I'm good, man. I'm good. I've only got a little bit of rest, so we're back in action.
Hell yeah, that's good. I think I got like 4 hours of sleep, and immediately got right back into the grind. Man, flipping NFTs left and right, but staying long term, holding on this. Obviously,
Heck yeah.
you guys, big props to you guys, because I mean, you guys as devs are really like trucking this one out, especially with all the FUD that comes from things, social media management, the dev in and of itself. Like, big props to you guys. You guys are doing a really good job. Really good
Thank you.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
And
that.
if it is possible, I want to make a big shout out to Simple. Simple has been wildly invaluable when it comes to the Discord, the servers in general, helping to get tickets resolved, answering people's questions. So I don't even know how to do it. Digital pat on the back. I'll create an NFT pat on the back for Simple.
Simple,
But
Simple is the man. Simple and DeFi, both of them are crushing it. They were like a phenomenal team.
heck yeah, they've been doing great. I wanted to jump into the AMA real quick. Obviously, like I know I can get long winded, but I'll try and keep it as short as possible. To help answer some questions and go over some things that I've received over the last few hours since the last AMA. One of them was people having fear and looking at the floor price and getting worried and or scared at the floor price. I want everybody to be reassured, because I believe Tyke actually posted this and it was a perfect example and explanation of it, is don't worry about the floor price as of right now. If you're looking at floor price and it starts dipping below the 0.2, then all that means is you just need to start sweeping up those samurai and staking them if they are set either commons, rares, legendaries, whatever the forces may be. Because as it currently stands in this moment in time, these NFTs, as far as the tradability is concerned, have an intrinsic value. So we're just looking at it sentimentally and saying, all right, well, because this one's more rare, it has more value. Again, same thing I said in the last AMA is if you're getting into NFTs purely just to flip NFTs and make profits, then that is one strategy you can use. However, some of these projects are long-term staking projects. And for an example, the Samurais are no different. This is a long-term staking project that you have the ability to stake your Samurai and earn literally a crypto. Right? At which point, that crypto, whether it's now or in the future, has the ability to be worth something on essentially on the blockchain. At which point, like, you can convert and trade that for certain different components. As that token increases in value, so does whatever the hell that you bought with that token, right? Especially if it's an in-game asset. So if you have to buy a baddie for 9,000, and that token starts to increase in price, the value of that baddie will start to increase in price. That, in conjunction with a floor price, will also increase it. So long-term staking is the name of the game here with this project. At the exact same token, what you need to look at is you need to look at your trade volume. Most projects with trade volume, high trade volumes, are the ones that you want to keep your eyes on. Right? If you have a low trade volume, those are typically projects that aren't really going to be going anywhere. Right? The ones that are in the thousands plus, those are ones that are actually making the moves that are necessary. So those are people who are going to be constantly trading. And you got to remember, every 0.2 that comes from the floor price, right, that's getting added into that trade volume. So by all means, keep sweeping and allow the paper hands to get their butts out of here. Within the last 24 to 48 hours, the Samurai have gone from, I think we were at 1,700 on mint day, if correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we were at 1,700 or so on mint day for staking, or 1,200, something like that. We're up to almost 3,000 Samurai currently being staked. That's 30% of the entire project being staked. That's absolutely wild right now. Of all of my Samurai, there's only 4 that I don't currently have staked. Those are commons that I'm trying to switch over to rares, because my strategy is I want more rares for when the game drops. Because my rares, I believe, just are going to be more valuable when the game drops, because they're just going to be stronger and more powerful. So I'm totally fine with having more rares. um, but yeah, guys, everybody who is listening into this chat right now is you need to think long term with the project, right? You don't necessarily need to think short term. If you're thinking short term and trying to flip to say, hey, somebody give me more liquidity, give me a 0.5 for this, give me 1, give me 2, whatever. It's not the wisest move. And I do certified appraising for NFTs. This Thursday, I'm flying out to California to go meet up with Dan Blazarian and his team on an NFT project, simply based on my old school skills. I'm telling you guys right now, you guys need to think long term at the supposed value of this project, including the assumed value of your actual NFT. Don't look at what the market is currently doing right now, because the market hasn't stabilized yet for this project. It's brand new. It has its volatility of up and down. But the real cool part is every single day, the samurais are growing in trade volume and awareness on the market, which I believe right now we're in the top like 60 for volume or something of that nature. I can't remember. I'd have to go double check. But if you think about that logically, right, and a long-term play and a long-term stake, we want more people aware, so the marketing has to be there. And on top of that, we want to make sure that the diamond holders are getting the rewards that they need. And think about this mathematically, 3,000 samurai being staked, each earning 11,700 Genki over a 3-month period of time. If you divide that by 9,000, that final number by 9,000, there are still more than enough baddies that are going to be available for you. Now you guys will own another NFT on top of the samurai that you will continuously own. You're actually making yourself money by staying in this game and staking long term. Sure, it'll take 3 months, but what investment doesn't take time? I would just urge everybody to breathe, be patient, and enjoy what you've got, because you got to remember there are 7 billion people on the planet, and there's only right now, as it currently stands, 3 people who are staking, 3,000 samurais who are staking. Me personally, I'm staking like, I don't know, dozens of them, but think about that right now. You're talking maybe 1,000 to 2,000 people who are staking samurai. This is 1,000 to 2,000 wise, smart individuals who are going for a long-term play that's going to pay off exponentially. Just do yourself a favor. Stake your samurai and enjoy what you've got. Start hyping it up. Get on Twitter. Start blasting it out on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, and then allow the Samurai Saga official pages to start retweeting and resharing your pictures and your posts. And we will start to create a larger network for when all of the rest of the project starts coming out. That means we're going to have way less supply and a ton of demand. More people are going to want to buy, especially when baddies come out. So, anyhow, I just wanted to long wind that one real quick.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great explanation. Thank you for that. Sorry, excuse me. Thank you for that, Mark. And then the demand that's obviously going to be increased when we have a lot more people playing the game, and there's not enough samurais to go around. So all that stuff is going to play out on its own. It's going to be planned out perfectly. So let's get through some questions. Let's get through some people. That way, we can make sure that we get answers. Let's move on to President Pizza. I love pizza, by the way.
Hey, I love pizza too. Can you
How's it going, man?
like, maybe add an eating function to your game where you can eat pizza?
Eating function? I'm not sure. Maybe down the road, maybe in like a year or two from now. Certainly, certainly would think about something like that. We certainly don't want any fat samurais.
Okay, bye.
All right, awesome. So I believe, oh, Dirty J, you were messaging me, man. Like, how's hopefully I got everything sorted out for you.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good, man. I'm actually playing video games right now while I'm listening to the AMA.
Oh, nice. What are you playing?
I play a multitude of different games, but right now I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, that's
Uh,
sick. Love
yeah,
that
it's
game.
a yeah, it's a great game. I love it. Actually played competitive play in it. But my question was is I have a rare weapon. I got the Desolation Red. Um, and I was wondering, that's just going to be towards in-game play, correct? That doesn't have anything to do with that doesn't make my samurai any more rare than any other comic, does it?
Um, there's certain the weapons in the in game are not, so they're not like everyone's gonna have it. There's associated to certain samurais, and there's gonna be a limited amount of certain weapons. So it could potentially be something that has value in game as well. And there would be prices associated, which means you could trade Genki tokens for those weapons.
Oh, okay, I like that. Um, and then the other thing is I know the roadmap. Is the beta in April, or is that the release of the game? Because I seen something in October too that is like game on, right? Like the time has come. We're fully um, on the road to um, the game. So I was just wanted to clear that up for myself.
Oh, October is more like, so in April is basically you could play, I wouldn't say beta, but I would say, you could play around with samurais. You could be mobile, you could have certain fights in game, but it won't be the full game with all the baddies because that has to be designed too. So if we can, have some extra months, I'm not saying that it would take till October, but if we just, precautions, if we could take a couple extra months to build the baddies in there, because all the baddies have very unique features as well, and it'll be a full-on game. That's why I mentioned game on. It's kind of like, you're gonna have a multitude of characters inside. That's gonna be extremely fun to play with.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's my thing, man. Mark says it perfectly. This is a long-term investment. That's exactly how I feel about it as well. I have a little FOMO right now. I'm like, I only have two
Yeah.
samurais, and I'm trying to, get more, and so I can stake more. Long-term investment, and the biggest thing for me is I love how you said, a couple extra months, because take your time. Like there's so many games and stuff that come out that are rushed, and then it's buggy. And bugs will turn people off from wanting to play the game. So please take your time. Make this everything uh, that it has the potential to be. I love the trailers. Everything's and it seems to everything's going right on cue. So
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, it took Halo 4 years to create, and that's a freaking awesome game that lasted for even until today. People still play it, so
that's right.
definitely want to make sure that we get that experience and not botch the gameplay with a rush game with bad graphics and whatnot, and all of a sudden the samurai that you bought is not really looking like the samurai in game, and that's going to be a problem. Like quality is so important for us.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I hope the rest of the samurais appreciate that as well. It's really important, and I'm glad you guys are super on top of that. But yeah, stay in contact with me, man. Also for all of the rest of the samurais here every night, I hop into the game Discord. It's open for everybody. We talk about samurais. We talk about just a little bit about everything.
Yeah, have a conversation, network, connect. Well, I think the majority of people here are gamers. or slash crypto investors. Lots of interesting conversations that could happen and bonds to be made. So, don't just look at this like a platform just for NFTs and samurais. Look at this as a platform for you guys to connect and express. Definitely appreciate that, Dirty J. Let's keep it going. So we can blow through a bunch of questions that people don't, couldn't get on stage to ask on the last couple of AMAs. C skips. Yo yo. C skips. Um, can you guys hear? Because I can or just hear him because I can't hear.
No, can't hear him. I think they
Okay.
left.
All right, cool. All right, Puncho. It's a great looking samurai you got there, buddy. Can't hear you either.
Same. I can't hear him.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool. Let's keep it going. Yo, BRYAB.
Hey,
I'm not
so
even
I
gonna
just
try to
had
pronounce it.
a little bit of a question kind of about the gameplay. So like, I've been to
Yo.
the website a good amount of time. So like, I don't know, I guess when I think of like samurai, I just kind of naturally think of like Mortal Kombat. But what kind of gameplay are we looking at? Is it like an open world where, you're gonna go around and it'll be like PvP, or there gonna be like resources, like I don't know, maybe just like a general view of kind of the gameplay to be expected, like once I actually step in.
So it's gonna be an open world. It's kind of like Fortnite, but there's gonna be a storyline attached to it. There's gonna be hidden treasures and prizes and battles that you could partake in. That's a style we want because we want people to be able to play with other players.
So it's like a battle royale, or is it going to be more of just
Yeah,
like, okay,
well, it's a combination. It's a little tricky. I mean, I would say it's a battle royale style, but with a lot of in-game stories and things that you can go hunt.
cool. And then my last question, sorry to ask so many, is
Hmm.
I think about it and I go like I got lucky enough where I got a really good one. Like mine's like rank 54, so I feel like it's going to be pretty powerful. But I also have one
Yeah.
that's not super high rank. And I just want to wonder, is there going to be ways to like upgrade your samurai, if you will? Like like hey, like maybe I have a one that's not super powerful, but I just like the way it looks. My other one I personally like more the way it looks than my higher ranked one. I just think it looks
Yeah.
really
I
cool.
see in your profile picture you have a rare one, so definitely that's more powerful. But don't discount the regular ones because the regular ones can, you could use your Genki tokens to upgrade them, upgrade the weapons and things of that nature that we have in game coming up.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I just staked them right now. So I'm gonna hopefully just gather a bunch of coins so I can make some big upgrades on release.
That's a big thing that a lot of people have missed out in this is a lot of people are looking at their commons and kind of getting discouraged. But a big thing that I think a lot of people have missed in this is think about the people who don't have samurai at all who are coming into this game. You got even with your commons, you are leaps ahead of the curve. And to add insult to injury, whilst you are staking those commons, you get Genki and you can upgrade your commons. So where people are literally right now looking at their commons and saying, "Oh, I just want to get rid of them for like whatever," I'm looking at you guys and saying, "Are you kidding? Like you're getting rid of one, free money, two, free upgrades. Like you are literally getting rid of your beasts that when we have 1 million players, there's only 10,000 of these things in the entire world. Even your commons are going to have an exponential amount of value because a normal player coming into the game is literally just going to be base. You're going to be leaps ahead of them. So
Oh, I didn't even realize that aspect. That's actually so cool. So there's gonna be people that will come into the game that might not have one of the 10,000, obviously, because there's only 10,000. So they're gonna have like theirs is gonna be just nothing
Yeah,
compared
they're
to like
they're gonna
mine over
be
here.
they're gonna be civilians just walking around, no weapons, nothing, no ability, can't fight. So they're gonna want like what Mark said. He hit the nail on that one. Like there's only 10,000 samurais, and there's only however many baddies we're gonna be launching. We're thinking 15, 20,000. But when we get, when we get hundreds of thousands of downloads the first couple months, or even million plus, which is pretty easy to do through our connections, the demand for these are going to be extremely high, extremely, extremely high. So guys that are selling it right now, it doesn't really make any sense. You should not sell it because other people are going to want to buy these, and then when you have even just 100,000 players, there's only 10% supply for the 100,000 players.
Oh, that's so cool. Because I was thinking like my one that's like ranked 3,000. If I just produce a bunch from staking, I'm gonna upgrade that, and I'm just gonna destroy all the new people that come in that don't even have.
Dude, you're
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
you're 100% right. I built an analogy for common people to understand because the samurai thing was really difficult for people to get, and the easiest way to explain this is everybody knows what a Porsche is, right? And so imagine you have 1 million people in the world, but there are no cars, and you have 10,000 Porsches. And you have some that are Porsche Boxsters. You have some that are Porsche 911s. You have some that are Porsche GTs. You have some that are convertibles, right? So, and inside of the 10,000 Porsches that are in the world, some of them are more readily accessible and therefore rare. And I'm sorry, some are more readily accessible and some are more rare. So, but you've got 1 million people in the world, and all of them need to get from point A to point B. So some of them are legitimately going to rent out your Porsche from you so they can have it. Or some people are going to make you absurd offers just because you got it. Even though you have like a Porsche Boxster, like the base model, they're going to make you absurd offers because they want to get from point A to point B. It's the same thing in this entire game is you are going to be one of the 10,000 people where 1 million people don't have what you have and they want what you have, and you are light years ahead of the curve. So think about it that way.
That just made me so excited to stake mine now. Is I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go into the game with my rank 54 and all my stake tokens up until the game's released and just maul people and just be overpowered, and that's gonna be fun.
heck yeah, bro. Sounds exciting. Very fun. All
Thank you
right.
for
Is that
answering my
that's all your
questions, by the
questions,
way.
right?
Appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. Yep. Thank you for being here. All right. Let's keep it going. I think Modito, you went already. If I'm not mistaken. So let's go to Darkest Wolf. Welcome back.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Fantastic. Yourself?
Good, good, good. I actually have a comment on what Mark said about the ranking. I looked it up after he said it. Right now, this is only from yesterday's number. They haven't updated through all the volume we traded today. But on all the
Mm-hmm.
chains together, we're rank 41, and just on Ether, we're ranked 39. But once they do all the sales we did today on the volume, we're easily going to be like 20, top 20, top 25, top 29. So I mean,
Yep.
in the short
Bingo.
amount of time we've minted and released, we've gone up faster than most projects. So
Yeah,
we're doing
literally, you're
great on that.
100% good observation, man. 100% clap, and I'm patting you on the back or something right now. If I had Genki, I'd give it to you.
And also to point out something that somebody said about amount of drops on the Discord. Remember, a lot of people came here just to be paper hands and to make a quick flip. Once they did that, they left. They had no reason to stay. So that's one of the reasons
That's
that a
right.
lot of people left and we lowered our numbers. But I'd rather have quality over quantity. So if we lost 10,000 but maintain 135 of quality people, I prefer that over having those 10 or 15,000 that left. They could leave. Rather have quality over quantity.
I
And
agree with you 1,000%. That's the goal, is to continue to have quality, and also because we're working on getting our Discord URL back. For some reason it's down. We're working with Discord to getting it back up. We're supposed to speak to the trust and safety. I think some people mass reported us because they were pissed off for whatever reason. I mean, it was very common for projects that are very successful to have a bunch of people hating on you. But we're gonna keep pushing, and people are gonna look at this in a couple months and be like, "Wow, should have held on."
exactly. And one last thing, Gian, that because I'm trying to help us. I'm not an admin or anything, but I see
Check that
questions. I'm
home.
always answering them and trying to help as much as I can. One of the questions they've been asked today the most is the Genki coins for the failed gas.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
If you guys had an
The
update on
team is
that,
actually working on it. Yeah, the team is actually working on it. They want to have that available with the new update on the website, so it's smoother for the staking. We do realize some of the staking are a little buggy. It's not entirely like off. It works. It's just we could make the staking a lot faster. So
No.
once that's updated, there's going to be a page for people to claim Genki tokens for the failed transactions. It'll include everyone here that's holding Samurais to also go claim.
perfect. That way I could have at least be able to answer, so they don't feel like
Yeah.
they're being thrown to the back of the bus. That they're
Oh,
being thought
no,
of
no, no,
already.
no. Yeah, I know. People are impatient. I mean, they want it in one day, but unfortunately, development does take time and a lot of thought needs to go in, and we don't want to make a decision on something that would affect the project in the long haul. So we got to be very careful about how we approach things because we don't want to just throw out tokens out there and all of a sudden it affects the supply and the price and whatnot.
Of course not. Of course not. Everything has to be done to meticulously to make sure everything
Yeah.
is the best way it can be.
It's got to be thought out. Same with the funds that we receive. So everything is well thought out, well planned, well budgeted. Make sure that we're not just throwing money at things because we have money. It's not a heck of a lot of money when you think about like the overall landscape of game development. Like it's got to be very careful with how we spend and how we move because one wrong move you could lose tons and tons of money and it's a bad thing. It just affects the project.
And one last thing, I want to give a shout out to Samurai 1794 that is lost in ether. I sent it to one of our boys, to Steve. In Etherscan, it says it was released from me. He got it, but it's still in my wallet. But when I try to do anything with it, it says I don't own it. So us, OpenSea right now has that one up in the air. Nobody can find it. So we're both trying to. We'll both open tickets with OpenSea, and hopefully it gets fixed because we neither me or him have it now. So it's basically in the air.
It's interesting.
Amen. Saying a prayer for that one.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't feel lonely.
Yeah.
Other
Let's
than that,
hope.
man, you guys are doing great. I appreciate everything you do. Especially, Mark is awesome as well with helping with everything. And we're gonna keep on trucking. We're gonna make this bigger than it is. Twitter. Just make sure everybody, like Gian was saying earlier, and everybody's saying earlier, you know, um, post your pictures up of the art for Samurai. Show the people how amazing this looks. And just get it known. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anything. Just get the word out so we can get more people in, and sweep the floor.
Yeah, exactly. And also it shows a lot of social activities, which is good because that's where a lot of people reside. A lot of their attention still resides. I know Discord is a big deal for NFTs, but your everyday life, we do spend a lot of time on social media. We plan to be a lot more active on social media as well through Instagram and Twitter because we feel like, a lot of times like people are missed out on information. They're not necessarily in the Discord. So do follow us on social media if you haven't. All right, let's move on. Yo, what's going on, Bolden boy? I don't think I hear you.
Mic check, mic check. You guys hear me?
I hear Bolden Boy. I don't hear Maldito. I hear Maldito. I don't hear Bolden Boy.
All right, this is interesting.
Yeah, I see you doing that, Bolden. I see you doing the mute and unmute. What typically happens, by the way, is like if you're in the chat, by the way, and you exit the app to go do something else and then come back into the AMA. So say you had to utilize your phone or the audio features with your phone, outside of the AMA, it will sever that tie for audio, or from what I've discovered. Because that's what happens with me, by the way, when you're like, hey, Mark, I can't hear you. It's because I've left the AMA. Like, I'm still in it. I can still hear you guys, but I've left the AMA to go answer a question, take a phone call, or something of that nature. And it severs the priority of audio to whatever was my last default. So I come back in, and obviously you guys can't hear me and I can't speak. So if that's what you're doing, if like you can't hear anybody or somebody can't hear you, it's probably because you left the application itself and severed that audio connect to do whatever it is that you're doing. So yeah, you'll have to leave and then come back, leave and then rejoin.
That's a great observation. So Maldito and the other gentleman, you heard him. Let's try to come back on a little bit. So let's move to Hiren. All right, Hiren not around. So, hey, Fads. Yo. Think we were trying to talk before. Fudge. Seems like a lot of people are not connected. Yo, Tulip, you around?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. First of all, wanted to say it's an amazing project. I've just been around for a few days now, so probably some of the questions I'm going to ask have been answered already. Sorry for that if that's the case. But I was really interested in the Genki token part, and wanted to ask you some questions about that. For instance, when does it come out, the Genki token? When can we expect it?
Within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, and what is going to be the total supply?
The total supply, we haven't finalized it yet. We don't want to speak too soon because we're still planning that out, but we want to update the website first, make sure that the smart contract for the tokens is properly done, and we'll work on the supply and the calculations, and it's not putting it out there because we have to reserve a certain amount for exchanges, and then we have to reserve a certain amount for a platform like Uniswap, which is the first place that we're going to be on, and then make sure that the people that are staking, like all the samurais, get enough supply as well. I think that's a lot of calculations have to go into that.
Okay, because in the announcement I saw that you estimated it for now on $1. Is that going to be a bit enthusiastic for the first stages, or was it just an example?
That's more of an example. I wouldn't say, it's an estimation. I mean, that's the idea, is to get to that level, if not as close as possible. But we believe that over time it will touch $1 plus without a problem.
Okay. And then I had a few questions about the NFT as well. If I buy something with the Genki token, like a weapon or something, will it affect the price of my the samurai I bought, or is it only in game the weapons I buy for my samurai?
Well, if you upgrade your samurai, and then you can showcase that your samurai has certain weapons and upgrades attached to it, like if you're selling it on, well, obviously on OpenSea, but if you're selling it to someone else privately, you can explain to them that value. But obviously, I think like in the future in game, the players that would download that don't have samurais, they could see what the characteristics of those samurais are, and they can look it up on OpenSea to see if they could buy it off of a guy like you. So it really, the price really depends. I would list it for a higher price if I were you, and especially if you're upgrading it and having extra weapons, because you can explain to people it's more valuable because you can connect with those guys that want to buy on the game itself as they download it.
Oh, that's awesome. And then a last question for me. The game, is it can people also make Genki token from playing the game, or is it just you can earn it by staking the samurai?
So the number one way to earn Genki token is staking, but obviously there's going to be tournaments in the game that you could play and battle against other players to win Genki tokens. Like there's going to be players that want to wager, see who's the best player, and then there would be adventures inside the game that you can also reward yourself with Genki.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, thank you. You made me a lot more bullish on the project than I was before, so thank you for that.
Heck yeah.
I'm excited for what the future will bring us.
No, thanks for being here. One thing you got to do is change your profile picture, man.
Yeah, I can do it in server, but I've got some other server that I have to maintain this one for, unfortunately.
I get it, man. It's awesome. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
All right,
thank you.
let's go to Bolden Boy. Did you get it back? Yeah, you're still not on.
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Awesome. Yeah. What's up?
Nice. I appreciate you guys. Loving the project. I'm addicted to Sam's now. Appreciate that. Got 13 of them. Just got one question real quick. Okay, so when it comes to staking, can we stake and then rent our Sams when it's time to rent them at the same time?
Yeah. When you stake them, other people can actually borrow your samurai, and then they could, when they play and they win prizes in game, you're entitled to 50% of what they make.
Are you freaking serious? Okay, great.
I'm not kidding.
Nice. I appreciate it, guys. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Sounds good, man.
All right.
And all these people over here selling their samurais and whatnot.
Right? Oh man, I can't wait for a couple months later when we get the downloads, the hype, the people that want to buy samurais. It's also like an educational experience, I believe. Like when you sold your samurai and you're not buying back in, you might get a little education lesson like a couple months later, because whoever's holding samurais and rocking with it, they're gonna be so happy. I just know it from the bottom of my heart, and I know it because I know the inside details on what we plan to do. All right, let's move to Hirin. Did you come back?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Aaron.
Oh,
Yep.
okay, that's cool. Can everyone else hear me or?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's cool. So my main question was about the tokenomics, but I think that the tulip dude, he already asked the question, so
Yep.
yeah, there's no point in me asking that one. But in terms of the what's it called now? Not Genki.
Genki
The
tokens?
baddies. The
Yep.
baddie. So we need 9,000 Genki tokens to mint
Correct.
the baddies. Yeah.
Yep.
So my main question is, let's say we don't have we don't have enough Genki tokens to mint that baddie. What would happen? Because I know a lot of people have staked their NFTs for 90 days.
Yeah, we're not going to run out of baddies. We calculated everything that we have, and the people that staked it for 90 days would still get a baddie.
Oh, okay, that's fine because my main thing was like I've minted for 30 days to try and get it, and I've minted my other ones for 90 days as well. So I didn't want to be in a situation where I can't get one of them because I've done that.
Yeah, if we do the math on it, I have a section inside of my chat in here, and I believe it's under the frequently asked questions. If we just do the basic math on it, there's 3,000 samurai that are currently staked, and if 3,000 samurai are currently staked for 90 days, that is times that 3,000 by 11,700. Right, that's how much Genki is going to be out there. Well, if you take that number and divide it by 9,000. Well, then that's the max amount of Genki that would be redeemable to mint baddies. So the reality speaking is, all right, well, if it costs 9,000, you're only getting 11,200, and only 3,000 people have done that, by the way. the reality speaking is we can only probably at max in 90 days from now mint maybe 3,500 to 4,000 baddies, maybe. And that's if people utilize that. That's if 100% of the supply of Genki goes directly to baddies. And me personally, I know that I'm going to be saving some of that Genki. So the reality to this is that it's probably, in order to get all of the baddies out, and this is to mint all of the baddies, it's probably going to take somewhere in the ballpark of like 9 months to a year for enough Genki to be staked in order to get all of the baddies out there.
Okay, so would you guys think about having Genki as the token and then having people buy it with Ethereum as well? So you can
Yeah, I
have
mean,
like
it's
you can
gonna
have a
be
certain amount of Ethereum
it's gonna
and
be
then you have to
that's right.
then spend the ETH to buy the Genki. Would you think
Yeah,
about that?
it's going to be tradable on the open market, so you could technically, with enough money, buy Genki tokens. So don't forget, like it's an advantage to staking it because you're earning them. Because the Genki tokens would constantly increase in price, and once the price creeps up, it's going to be super expensive to buy enough Genki tokens in the future to to mint the baddie. So instead of buying an NFT right now from the floor, buying a couple of them from the floor, when the Genki token gets to somewhere around even 50 cents to $1, it'll cost you thousands of dollars just to buy one baddie. Like if someone wants to do that, that's an option.
Yeah. I put an equation. If you look at the Sensei Dojo, there's an equation in there that estimates the value of a baddie as it currently stands with the existing market of a samurai. And just as John expressed, is you're looking at, as it currently stands right now, that somewhere in the ballpark of about 7 cents to 8 cents for one Genki. Now, granted, that is completely theoretical because that doesn't have a market cap on the Genki because that hasn't been determined yet. But mathematically, right, if a samurai is more valuable than a baddie, right, we're just going to run a total BS hypothetical. And this is where my mentality is in thinking that long term, a common one is going to be worth at least 3 to 4 Ethereum. This is just my mentality is if Genki gets up to $1, then a baddie, if it takes 9,000 Genki to make a baddie, then that literally states right there that a baddie is worth basically like 1 Ethereum. Or correct me, 3 Ethereum. I apologize, 3 Ethereum. If it's $9,000, yeah, if it's $9,000, a baddie would be worth 2.8 Ethereum. I'm sorry. So if a baddie is worth 2.8 Ethereum, well, what about the machine that mines the token to create the baddie? In my opinion, then that means the samurai are infinitely more valuable. So that's why I'm saying this. The reason why I'm so heavily staked into samurai is because of that component to this. You're looking at this and saying that this is a multi-layered component that as the Genki token increases in value, so does your samurai. But as the floor price increases in value, so does the Genki. It coincides both together. And again, you are right. You can buy Genki when it comes available on Uniswap, as Gian had said earlier. It's the same thing that I'm doing with like other NFT projects. Like I have to buy their specific token with Ethereum in order to stake their NFTs. And I think Samurai Saga is just doing it in a much more, in my opinion, a much more efficient way that provides infinitely more benefits to the end consumer. And those are the 3 components that I look for in what is considered a valuable NFT project is community, engagement, and the utility that supports the engagement of the community. If you have all 3 of those components, and Samurai Saga very much has all 3 of those components to an nth degree, you can clearly see that literally over the last 4 days, if I remember correctly, 4 days since reveal,
Yeah.
the Samurai Saga project has skyrocketed into the 40th position as far as NFT projects are concerned. I hate to say this, but it took months and months for Board 8 Yacht Club to even get remotely close to that. So I believe that this project has the ability to skyrocket, especially when people that are paper hands wise up to the value of what they literally have. They literally have a samurai that is a money printing machine. And don't get me wrong, you can use it in game and you can just absolutely destroy the noobs that come in when they're civilians. That's going to be fun. But at the same time, you have a money printing machine and you can rent out this money printing machine and make money off of the people who you're renting it out to. Like, you're kidding, right? Like a digital asset that has the ability to provide you with like 6 to 10 different streams of income. They're wild that anybody would ever want to sell that. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Hiran, is that all the questions you have?
Yeah, no, that's thank you. Thanks for answering.
Thanks for being here. Skips, you're back. I see your mic's
Yeah,
working now.
hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Hello?
hear you, Skips. I can hear you, Skips.
Okay, Gian, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so on the subject of the compensation Genki tokens, I have two things to talk about. One would be a question, and then the other one's kind of a topic of discussion or debate. So I'll start with the question. So you're planning on sending out this compensation Genki tokens, and so my question is, how does your team think this will impact the Genki as a coin and its value?
I think it'll impact the coin in a positive manner because when you're holding Genki and you're seeing the value go up, a lot of people generally try to collect more. Like for me, if I see the value constantly going up and I see the interest in the product in itself and the roadmap, and I know where we're going. You realize that we're about to have over 1 million downloads this year in the game. You'd be crazy not to buy more tokens. I think like having a lot of information being put out there when we launch the Genki token, I could see a crazy amount of people buying the token in itself.
Well, no, my question is because if your plan is to essentially print free coins and hand out free coins, you will be inflating the price of the coin even before
No,
it's dropped.
the tokens would not be inflated at all. We've calculated the supply and we've calculated the
Hello?
We lost him.
I think he dropped.
Yeah, he
Something was happening.
DC'd. So
I'll just
to
wait.
answer the question is they've calculated the supply. So as it currently stands right now, there's not necessarily a market cap in as of this moment, second in time, but probably within the next like week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks, there's going to be more. There's going to be more documentation on what that supply is and what the cap of it is. So that's
No,
what the
but what I'm
calculations are
saying
doing
is no
right now.
matter what you do when you're giving out a coin like that, it's essentially the same thing as a government printing money. It inflates the coin, and I'm wondering if the team has thought about how that will impact the coin. Because essentially, whoever's staking, whoever's in this project, we need to think about that. You know what I mean? If we're
Correct.
inflating the coin prior to its launch, we're essentially like we're hindering its growth and we're
Correct.
decreasing
And
its overall value. So I'm just wondering
no,
if the team has
you're
thought
100%
about
on
that.
that. They have
So
what they've done is the only tokens that they're giving out are as more like a gift of compensation for people who failed who had failed transactions on the Ethereum network. So truth be told, they don't actually have to give away those tokens. They're doing it as a nicety, and yes, that will have a slight inflation component. However, that's already been calculated into it. And again, we're not talking like it's $1.5 billion. But it is enough to compensate us with people who had failed transactions, but not enough to make a significant impact in inflation.
I had 0.4 ETH in failed transactions. So I'm on that boat. And even though I lost, I don't know how much money that is. How much? Well, that was like $2,000 I lost around there, let's just say. I don't agree with them handing out those coins because I think it's going to negatively impact the coin. And the second thing, the topic of discussion is, so if this whole plan of compensation is to like make it fair or essentially compensate the people who have failed transactions. So their plan, like they stated, it was to take the overall total of failed transactions and divide
Divided by
that
the
equally
yes,
by the people who had failed transactions. So
yes.
if the goal is to truly compensate and to make it fair for people who lost on ETH transactions, that is actually doing the opposite. And that's me, I'm talking right now. I lost zero point 0.4 ETH, so I lost a lot. So essentially, if the people who lost a lot on the mint day, we'll assume that they were unable to mint as many samurais, right? Because I couldn't mint as many as I planned. So I lost a lot in gas. I couldn't mint as many samurais, which means inherently I was staking less samurais at the end of the day, which means I was earning less Genki tokens. So now, if you look at somebody who lost a little bit in gas, they inherently could have bought like more samurais than the people who lost more, and is inherently could are earning more in their staked rewards. So the whole idea of them compensating people who actually lost a lot, they're actually taking their money. Not it's not their money, but it's gone, right? But they're it's organized as if it's their money, right? They're putting it all together and dividing it equally. So essentially, they're taking that money that's been lost in failed gas transactions from people who had the most, and they're transferring those funds to people who lost less. When in reality, the people who lost less were technically inherently able to mint more samurais. So it's a transfer of wealth from people who lost the most to people who didn't lose as much. Does that make sense? I prefer there not to be anything. And can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you for sure.
Okay, so I get that they when they thought of this plan, whatever, a great idea to even be willing to do something for people, right? I think that's kudos. That's shows a lot of initiative and caring for the community or whatever. So, but like I've been a part of a couple different projects and they've had similar things where the mint or the launch day hasn't gone as according to plan, and there's been a few ways that they've done it, but I don't think this is a good idea because essentially who you're trying to compensate to, you're literally just giving technically those funds to people and putting who are like lost less in giving them an advantage over you because when it comes time they benefit, not the people who lost the most. So
That's
I would
that's cool. I hear what you're saying. I truly do. But from the aspect of there being a million or so users on this base, we're also talking a very small number. We're talking, as far as people are concerned, we're talking maybe 1,000 or so people as far as failed transactions are concerned. The vast majority of people did not have failed transactions. It's an exceptionally small number. And in the overall scheme of things, if we're talking about 1,000 people being compensated a few as far as Genki token is concerned versus millions of people each having thousands and thousands and thousands of Genki, it doesn't have that much of an impact. You could almost view it kind of like a stimulus check. Kind of like if you're in the United States and you got that $600 stimulus check. It's the same exact thing. Like for me personally, in this project, I've had way more than 0.5 in failed transactions. I'm probably close up to like, I think I want to say I'm closer to about 8 Ethereum in failed transactions. And so I'm one of the people, because I have a ton of the samurai. I'm one of those people that I'm not going to get a lot. I'm going to get the average, and the average is going to be significantly lower than what I've lost. But again, my mentality right now is I could give two flying dog craps about that 8 lost Ethereum simply because I now have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of samurai that are currently being staked, because I just went onto the secondary market, and even though I lost out in the ability to mint at 0.2, I still went out, and even with the amount of Ethereum that I lost, I still went out and I bought samurai and kept sweeping at 0.2, 0.21, 0.19. Like every time that there was something that was low, I had the ability to grab it. And again, long-term play is the amount of inflation that 1,000 failed transactions would impact a Genki token that is sufficing the use of over 1 million people is marginal at best. So again, just me personally on this, I think overall big picture, and I'm currently involved in 127 different NFT projects as a subject matter expert. And I would let you know that currently, as it stands in this moment in juncture in time, I spend more time in Samurai Saga than I do in the other 126 projects, simply because of the longevity behind this. I very much agree with the fact that the devs are literally taking money out of their own pockets and giving it back to the community
They're
by way of
printing the money.
compensation.
It's out of all of our it's out of all of our pockets. Everyone
Correct.
who's invested in this, it's not their
Correct.
pockets. Giving these tokens out will affect all of us.
Correct. But it's not going to affect us in a manner that is going to be as impactful when it comes to the grand scheme of where these Genki tokens have application. It
It's
won't
just
be,
if
it'll,
people want something for free, literally, I think the community, they just need something. And I just think by giving out a free coin, you're inflating and you're actually not addressing the problem that they was to solve. So I think there can be potentially there's weapons coming out, right? Imagine if they just gave everyone the same weapon. Everyone gets a free weapon. Whoever's a holder right now or who dealt with the launch. Everyone at the launch gets one free weapon. It's all the same. Everyone has it.
so everyone has that free weapon and then can sell and convert said weapon into
So whatever they
Genki.
want. Whatever they want, yeah.
So it'd be just like giving out Genki.
But
If everybody
it's
got a free,
not Genki. It's an
well, I mean,
NFT.
I can convert that. I can convert that weapon into Genki and or Ethereum or sell it, whatever the force may be. So I'm still getting something for free. At which point to add to your and I'm not calling this an argument. I just call it spirited debate because it's great education on both sides. And I truly do. I appreciate your words and your input. But in this regard, we're looking at it and saying, regardless of what you're giving out for free, it doesn't matter if it's an actual product, if it's money itself, or if it's a service that goes along provided. It's going to have a value of an assumed value of some sort, at which point it can be converted into either Ethereum and or Genki and or sold as an NFT. So it's going to inflate at any given point.
No,
The
but the
fact,
whole point of an NFT is a non-fungible token. It's so that it
yes,
technically has no value. Does that make sense? So it doesn't actually inflate the coin. That's the whole point of
correct,
NFTs, is that they're not worth an actual anything. I don't think you
correct,
understand. Like that's why it doesn't actually inflate the token.
correct. And as it stands right now, if we have to utilize that as our base model, as it currently stands right now, Genki has zero value as it currently stands. As it stands literally in this breath that I'm giving, Genki doesn't have a value because it's not currently being utilized and or traded and or redeemed in any way, shape, or form. It has
I
an
know, but
assumed
the
value.
minute
It
you
has an
launch
assumed
it,
value.
it does. That's what you're literally just it's printing money. See, the whole point of
Yes.
crypto, the whole point of blockchain is to not be like that. Isn't that my understanding? To not be like governments who print money, etc. And I just feel like we're going off on the wrong page with our whole coin. The whole point of cryptos in blockchains is to not be like that, and that's essentially what we're doing.
Yeah, I just got back on. Skips, I value your input. You have a point there. However, like what Mark said, it's not gonna impact. It's very small. It's barely even gonna scratch the effect on the whole project in general, because I've also been a part of many projects that have launched. I have friends that launched a lot of projects in terms of tokens. Sometimes giving the tokens, in terms of like free tokens at this stage compared to where we're going to be going is insignificant. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm glad to have a
If I don't
debate
know
with
if you
you.
guys can think about it, I appreciate the discussion. Thanks, Mark, and thanks, Gian. Just
Yeah.
no one
We
was
could,
talking about it, so I had to bring it up. Right? People hear free things and they're all over it, and I understand that. Same thing in the real world, right? When the government says they're going to be spending money and giving everybody money, is it truly helping? Technically, when you look at it on like
the thing about this.
economically, it doesn't. But
The thing about we could have a further discussion on this because we want to let other people come on and ask their questions. But
yeah,
I'm just going to make a last statement. The thing about this is we're creating an economy. We're creating something that people want to have in the future, but they necessarily don't have the resources to get into yet. So we're helping them get along that journey. So it's kind of like giving a 25% discount on something that they're going to buy in the future anyway because they want the product. Obviously, someone who's minting the samurai and have a failed transaction, they want the samurai.
yeah.
So we're helping the ecosystem.
Maybe even if you just gave everyone like a set amount, a small number that has no correlation to the overall total. Personally, that makes me feel better because
Let's uh,
as someone who
let's have
lost a lot, or
a
Mark, it feels like we're literally just taking our money and giving it to people who didn't lose much.
no, I don't think that's the case. But let's have a discussion. I'll send you a message. We're happy to
Okay.
go back and forth on this.
All right. Well, I
Awesome.
obviously very passionate about the project, and so thanks for having me on. And I'm here for the long term as well. So appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Gibbs. Appreciate you.
Okay, easy.
All right, that's awesome. So let's keep going. That way we give people a chance to speak. Yo, Afaj, I think you were trying to come on before. I still can't hear you.
It looks like the same exact issue where he was out of the app, came in the app,
Yeah,
disconnected, but he just left.
most
So
likely. All right. Broken
broken
player.
player, the legendary that I've been trying to get my hands on. I'm trying
Oh
to trade
man,
with this guy.
yeah, we've been talking for days, bro. We've been talking for
Oh
Yeah.
days.
man.
How's everyone doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks
I
for
have a
coming in.
couple questions. Most of them been answered. But I think one that wasn't really touched on was it's about marketing. So I'm fairly newish to Samurai Saga, and I've been checking out the page, going on to all the official links. And me personally, I feel like the Twitter and especially the Instagram is kind of underutilized. And I think there's a huge market that we could be reaching if we did put some more emphasis on those with getting the word out with Instagram and Twitter and just advertise things that's going on with the project. For instance, a legendary that sold for 9.8 ETH should have been like all over the Instagram, for example, or something like that, or even promoting some giveaways on the Instagram. So I guess I'm just wondering what the strategy is with the social media aspect part of this.
Oh, you're completely right. We've been lacking a little bit on the social media side. We just interviewed someone who's really great at social media. So hopefully within the next couple of days we'll start onboarding this person. We want to be a lot more active on social media. I think I've stated earlier, I want to encourage all of you guys to follow our social pages because there's an issue with Discord right now, which I'm sure will get sorted out. But we want to be omnipresent, and we want to continue to improve the project and drive interest using
Yeah.
all channels. So social media is definitely a go over the next coming days, and you're going to see a lot more posts and engagement from us on those channels, especially Twitter. Like we also want to do a heck of a lot more Twitter Spaces versus just AMAs here internally in Discord. So I think moving forward, definitely going to be cross-channeled. Maybe Clubhouse, but that seems to be dying off. I'm not sure if it's like a popular thing anymore. But Twitter Spaces seem to be happening for a lot of NFT projects.
Yeah, the NFT project for Twitters is pretty big, but a
Yeah.
solid idea for that to follow what Broken Player was saying is like Mutant Ape or Bored Ape, a lot of them have sales bots. So anytime that there is a sale on OpenSea, it gets announced to Twitter utilizing a bot. And it's a solid thing that obviously like nobody has to even manage or maintain because the bot does it itself. But just like you see with NFT.com or any of those major things, if we have a big sale like a 9.8, then we create our own graphic, our own flyer behind that, and then post it up obviously on IG or Facebook or whatever. And we all share it, reshare it, tweet it, whatever the forces may be, and make a big deal out of it, you know?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's good, guys. I'm glad that's being worked on. And yeah, what Mark said is a great idea. Actually, I think that's perfect and doesn't really require too much resource to do that either. My next question has kind of been answered, but just to kind of confirm and for everybody in the back. So when we do stake our samurai, we can still use that samurai in game, correct?
Yes, you could still use it, and then you could also have an option to rent it.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's all for me, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome, I appreciate you. Okay, Joe, JC.
I still want your legendary.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing, Gian?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Awesome, awesome. Mark, how's it going, sir?
You know, man, just chasing a dream, you know?
Oh, I hear that, man. I hear that. I don't know if you recall,
Cashing
but you and
checks
I
and
have had
snapping necks.
we've had a couple of conversations there back and forth. I appreciate your time, by the way.
Hey, no worries, no worries.
Obviously means a lot, you know, that somebody such as you know, people of your stature and you guys take the time to talk to the smaller people, I guess, to kind of help us and guide us in the right direction. But I got a couple probably easier questions here, mostly regarding the game. Do you guys plan on going after the PC launch? Are we going for mobile next or console or kind of both? Or
We'll go straight console after the PC launch. This is not. Well, it might be a mobile game, but this is not like the amount of processing power needed to play this game is not a mobile-friendly game.
Gotcha. Okay. And as mentioned, if you stake it, you can use your samurai or you can rent it. If you rent it, you can't use it. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, if you rent it, other people are using it, and it's sort of it's tied in, so you can't pull the plug on them because it would make a poor gaming experience. What you could do, we talked about it internally too. What you could do is you could choose to rent it for a certain period of time, and then the character would basically get removed from that service, and then
Okay.
you could sort of take it back after that because we want to keep the gameplay flowing. Like, doesn't make any sense for anyone to have the free power to pull the plug on a character. We want the characters to constantly be live and stuff.
Cool. And also, if you I take it if you buy like one on OpenSea, it becomes yours, and you can use that actual samurai in the game as well.
Correct. That's
All
right.
right. And then the baddies, will those be able to be staked?
Yeah, the baddies would be able to be staked just like the samurais would be.
Okay. And would those be able to be used as well in the game?
Yeah, the idea is
Okay.
to have baddies, so there's a mixture. It's not only samurais in a battle.
Gotcha.
There's enemies. You know, we want to create a variety.
Okay, awesome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the time. The project's awesome. I'm still pumped for it. So let's go.
Let's get it. Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, Nasty Nash.
Hey,
Yo
what's up?
yo.
What's up? You guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, my question was related to what we were talking the other day on the private messages related to the raffle on the levels raffle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that is going. It's just a very everything goes perfect. I'm not worried about the floor. I'm not worried about Genki. I'm very excited about the project, and I'm just like every day I get like one or two people, friend of mine, into the project, and I go through OpenSea and I buy them the samurais, and like we little by little are sweeping the floor. People like us that don't have that much capital, that's the only way to do it, just bringing people into the project. But in related to the raffle of the levels, it's kind of like annoying, and I'm sure that I'm not talking about only myself.
Mm-hmm.
but we bust our asses off before the open sale to get those levels up and to get to level 30 and level 20. The
Yeah.
raffle didn't get through yet, and it's been like a week or something like that already, almost a week. And
Mm.
now there's map people that got into level 20 and map people that got into level 30.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the raffle is not gonna be too fair right now, in, for my understanding, because it's like when we got to level 30, it was only 11 of us. Not even Ty was in level 30. So right now, I don't know. I don't even know how many people are there because I just stopped checking and it's whatever. But I just want to know your thoughts on that and what are you guys planning on doing?
The raffle is actually handled by between Tyke and someone else. I'm gonna go talk to them about it. You brought up a fair point. I don't have an answer to that right now, but I think we'll talk about how we can make this better.
All right, no doubt. I know you guys are gonna
Yeah.
figure it out. All
Of
right,
course,
just
of course.
peace
Thanks for
out
sending me the
and
music too, by the way. I've been listening to the
oh yeah.
songs. They're awesome.
Yeah. I always keep you. I have a ticket open with Type, and that's where I send the music. But I always send you the tracks on the side because you're not there, and I wanted you to check it out as well. So yeah.
I actually downloaded it on my phone. I was gonna like come up with ideas on where we can embed this, whether it's with the comic or the game.
Oh yeah, that was only ideas that I created based on not even the trailer was out yet. It was only me thinking on what would be a good sound for the game or the trailers or whatever. But like when we get together and have a meeting about what is a feeling that you guys want to give, and with the images in front of us, with the trailer and the game and everything is way better. It's way easier to create the music and create the vibe. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the green light, and yeah, let's make it happen.
Awesome, man. Sounds good. We'll definitely be talking over the next couple of weeks. All right, cool. Thanks, Nasty Nash. Let's go to Husky CO1.
Hello. How are you?
What's up? What's up?
I'm good. Congrats on the successful launch and amazing samurais. I really like them, bro. Excuse my bad
Thank
English,
you.
but
Thank
I'll try
you.
my best to get to my point. I'm actually a big gamer. I try to love game, League of Legends, Maple Story, Escape, on all over all these games. But I'm truly concerned about the disparity that samurais will create in the game itself, because we all
Mm-hmm.
know that like pay to win games are not always the most popular because people are tired after a few days of playing, and because someone paid some money, he constantly smash them in the game. So what's actually your plan to on keeping the disparity from common players and samurai? Because we all know that common players are as important as samurais for the game, because we holder are concerned about the common players, and they keep the hype of the game. So how are you planning to keep those players in attached to the game?
Well, the idea is to create like unique battles between samurais, and the goal is to get well, first of all, it's going to be a huge learning experience for us in April when we start releasing version 1 of the game, and you can see all the players play. The idea is to build a game where we can involve everyone here that's playing the game to give us feedback so that we can morph this thing and continue to create an ethos for people to not only just play the game. It's not like you have an RPG game, for instance, and you play for a little bit, you get bored of it, and then you ditch the game because you beat every level. This thing is basically player versus player, and guys can host tournaments against one another. And then create their own vision on how they want to move forward in the future. So towards the end of the year, we're going to have maps for guys to buy, and you can create your own land and you sort of create your own hangout spots, kind of like on social media, but in the metaverse. Like you'll never get bored of hanging out with friends and family.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm only bringing it to maybe make sure that you have an attention to that, because I've been bored of some games where I put some money, but then someone put more than me, and it's always constantly it's like a wheel. You put money, but because the goal is to be the best. At the end of the day, everyone here is dreaming of being the best at this game. So whenever a millionaire come into the game and throw some money into it, and he beats you because he has money, it like creates it like crush your hope of becoming
But
the
the
best
thing
of the
about this
game.
game is it's not because of money. Like just because you have the best weapons, yes, you do
Hmm.
have an advantage. But it's a very skill played game.
Yeah.
It's not because you have a character that can, let's say, have a gun and you can shoot better than the other
Mhm.
character, right? This is a free playing game. It's free movement. You can dodge. You can attack. You can fight back. You can form like bonds with other players, and then you guys can team up and whatnot. So there's a lot of things that can play a factor in. It's kind of like playing chess. There's so many different moves that you can make.
Yeah, but that's a thin line, between balance and overpowered, and that's the thing that I think people should work on to keep people attached to the game. That's it. That's all I had to say about
No, no,
the.
I completely understand that.
Yeah.
That's why we introduce weapons upgrades and whatnot. So I think once the game launches, we're gonna have a huge learning experience that we're
Mhm.
gonna learn off guys like you. But also on the other hand, seeing the game development, I also know as a huge gamer myself, I also know this is gonna be real fun.
Yeah, because we all know that the gaming industry is really, really big. Like, there's 2.5
Mm-hmm.
billion video games around the world, and the average player
Yep.
is like 35 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
70% of the gamers are older than 18. But
Yeah.
there's that 30% below 18 years old that maybe doesn't have money and want to play, and those people are those who put more the time of their time into the game. And if they don't have money, they probably
That's
won't.
okay because there's a feature in the game where people could stake their samurais and rent it out to those players, so they can also play those samurais.
Mhm. All right. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Enjoy. All right. Let's take two more questions, and then we're gonna have to conclude this one. I'll try to get another one going tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then we'll get one on Thursday. So with that said, Sham, what's up, Sham?
Hey, how's it going? You guys can hear me?
Yes, sir.
So my first question is, with the baddies coming out about end of February, do we have an idea of how much they would earn in Genki if we stake them?
It's not finalized, but the talk is to be identical to the samurais. But we're not sure yet.
Okay. So and they would, I'm assuming they would all earn the same amount. Like if it's 9,000, it's 9,000 for all. It doesn't depend on rarity or anything.
No, actually, it does depend on rarity. Like the rare ones obviously earn a little bit more than the standard ones, but I think people wouldn't even have a problem because if you look at like, for instance, there's someone that paid 10E for a super rare one, right? That obviously earns more, but there's nothing stopping someone from buying 10 of them on OpenSea, like regular ones, and staking those.
Yeah, so that's different than the samurai, right? Because the samurai right
Mhm.
now, all of them earn the same, but you're saying the baddies might have different tiers of earning based on their rarity.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's another question that someone else wanted me to ask.
Hmm.
Right now, some of the NFTs have some weapons on them right now. Will that be reflected in the game, or is that just part of the NFT and separate from the game?
No, that's going to be reflected. Those weapons that you see on your samurai are going to be standard weapons that the samurais come with.
Okay, so some of the ones that don't have weapons right now, the NFTs that don't have weapons, that means starting in the game, they would not have any weapons, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't have anything. We're thinking about giving them just a regular sword, but it hasn't been finalized yet.
Okay. And I think that's all I had. Thanks, everyone.
All right, awesome, dude. Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna have to conclude this as I blow through a bunch of messages on the Discord. I will respond to you tonight. I know I've been trying to respond to a bunch of messages this morning. But I appreciate all of you being on here. We're gonna have way more updates coming up. The next couple of days. Again, the website's gonna be refreshed in the next week or so. It's gonna have a bigger team on there. You guys are gonna see a lot of sneak peeks on the game in the Discord. Our Discord vanity URL has been having some issues. We've contacted Discord on that. Hopefully that gets resolved soon. But massive updates are coming to social media. We have a social media person on board full time now. We start bringing on more team members so that there's more exposure for the brand itself. PR is coming